You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Birthright citizenship victory wasn't the end, as legal expert warns what's coming next based on an article by any Gooden. Felony for a finger, impunity for the people in charge. A symptom gets indicted. A former Olympian is facing a felony charge for allegedly touching a damaged strip of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, while the pool itself had already been turned into a public embarrassment by botched renovation, algae, peeling paint, and a no-bid contract done at Trump's direction. That is the factual frame. Everything else is power management. The rebel decision-makers, the people with actual institutional power, are not the tourists, passersby, or even the man accused of touching a loose piece of sealant. Power sits with the White House that ordered the cosmetic fix, with the officials who executed it without normal procurement discipline, and with the U.S. Attorney's Office turning the episode into a felony spectacle. That is the basic trick. When state capacity fails, prosecute the nearest visible body and call it accountability. A damaged public monument becomes a stage for punishment, while the decision-makers who produced the damage remain insulated behind press conferences and procedural language. Scapegoat logic. The article's strongest political fact is also its ugliest one. The blame is being shifted downward. The source itself lays out the sequence. Trump wanted the pool painted American flag blue. The project moved through a no-bid contract. The pool then turned green with algae and began to peel. Only after that did the state decide to treat a man who says he reached into the water as the villain. That is not neutral enforcement. It is image repair through coercion. When institutions break something publicly, they often need a smaller target to punish, so the failure can be recast as vandalism, not incompetence. The charge may survive in court. The political logic is already obvious. Media concentration with a patriotic wrapper. The merger fight over Paramount and Warner Bros. Is another version of the same disease. Centralize power, then sell it as order. The source describes career Justice Department staff being overruled after raising antitrust concerns, while Trump-aligned billionaires seek control over major news and entertainment assets. That matters because media consolidation is not an abstract market issue. It is a direct lever over what gets amplified, softened, buried, or normalized. When a government clears the path for allies to absorb more of the information ecosystem, it is not making a technocratic choice. It is helping build a propaganda infrastructure. The article's framing is right to treat this as an institutional assault, not a routine business transaction. Citizenship and the propaganda machine. This attack on birthright citizenship follows the same playbook. Manufacture panic, target a constitutional guarantee, and hope the public accepts the lie because it is wrapped in national security language. Speaker Mike Johnson's birthright tourism line is not confused policy discussion. It is a deliberate attempt to muddy a clear rule with xenophobic theatre. The source also makes clear what happened in court. The administration's position was blocked, yet the political attack did not stop. That is important. Authoritarian politics does not require winning every legal fight. It only requires keeping the public under a steady drip of false emergency so the next abuse looks like a reasonable response. Corruption without embarrassment. Then there is the money. The source reports Trump made more than $2.2 billion in a year, much of it from cryptocurrency ventures and settlements with media companies. That is not merely conflict of interest. It is a governing model in which office publicity and private enrichment are fused together until the distinction becomes decorative. The same political network that blares about law and order is normalizing a system where the president profits from the very markets he is supposed to regulate, while ordinary investors eat the losses. That is not incidental corruption. It is extraction protected by office. The larger pattern. This story is not really about a pool, a merger, a citizenship fight, or even one man's crypto windfall. It is about a governing class that uses institutions to displace responsibility downward, concentrate control upward, and convert public damage into private advantage. That is the pattern. Harm is treated as confusion when it comes from power, but as felony conduct when it can be attached to a weaker target. The state is not failing by accident. It is being used exactly as designed by the people who can afford to confuse punishment with governance. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Arctic. Thanks for listening.